Well, thanks for being here. It's been kind of a beautiful week, and weather's been spotty, touch and go, but kind of was hoping that, hey, Jugs, good to see you, Jugs. Thanks for being here. Kind of hoping that rain would let up, but it has kind of let up some. It might stop altogether. So we're going to have about an hour to walk around Wednesdays on Broadway and see if I can get anybody to engage in a conversation about Charlie Kirk, and see how people are feeling about all the political divide and the political violence that we've experienced. And here in Minnesota, it's been a rough summer because we've had, the assassination of Melissa Hortman and her husband, and also the attempted assassination of one of her colleagues in elected Minnesota Senate, and threats on other lives. So the Charlie Kirk debacle came right on basically on the heels of the political violence, the political assassinations here in Minnesota. And so I want to see how people are feeling. What can we do to, bridge that gap? What can we do to change the conversation, to keep people from committing acts of political violence? And what would motivate them the right way? And, and how can they meet their neighbor, meet their family members where they are, and still see them not as political opponents, but as human beings who have varying opinions that need to be honored and recognized. And so I think one of the first people I want to talk to is somebody that I talk to on a regular basis. That's Greg Millarton. You're going to see. I'm going to flip the camera around. Two of my favorite people to talk to.
Where?
So here's, everybody knows Justin. They've seen him before. You've all seen Greg before.
Hi, Mom.
I don't think your mom's watching. I was going to make
Is
mom
there a
joke.
way you can keep the live comments on your feed?
You mean so you can read them as people are like
No,
on a playback?
Either that or else afterwards laid down. Because whenever you do a live, all the comments...
Oh, no, there's no way for me to keep those knocked down unless I just don't allow comments.
No. After you're done, all the comments disappear after you post.
Yeah, and you want to be able to see them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a setting. I'd have to double check it.
Figure that out.
Yes, sir. You know what? I will do that for you. So I'm gonna ask this question. Both, can you get a little closer?
The answer is $7,000 and it's yours.
No, fuck. Trying to get me to lose money?
So I was
$9,000.
I'm gonna ask this question because
1956 Oldsmobile 88 rocket engine. Beautiful interior. Check that out.
Fix those seats. Shut up, he says. So I want to ask this question because I know I'll get honest answers from both of you. Minnesota in particular over the last several months has experienced several acts of political violence.
I'm not even going to get into this.
No, let me finish the question before you tell me you're not going to get into it, because I know you'll give me your opinion and it's safe. And then last week, a week ago today, we saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk. No matter which way you slice it, like him, don't like him, he was assassinated. And I personally, no matter what a person's political ideology is, I just don't feel like, well, it's not a feeling. I know. They don't deserve that, no matter what your political ideology is. Well, not even just the First Amendment, just no matter what your political ideology is, unless you're actively advocating, going up and rounding up people based on their ethnicity or their sexual orientation or whatever you want to call it. That's just not, you don't actively advocate violence towards people. You just don't. But it seems to be escalating. How do we bridge that gap? Because like you and I are not philosophically aligned. You keep accusing me of being a lefty, but everybody knows I'm not.
Total lefty.
So how do we bridge that gap, Greg? In your eyes, how do we bridge that gap where people who have
remind people of our similarities and just quit focusing on our differences?
You hold yours for just a second. I think that's great, but there still comes a time where we're going to find ourselves at variance. And whether it's not you necessarily, but your neighbor has political signs in their yard, or you have a political sign in your yard, and your neighbor decides they don't
put up a bigger sign.
That's definitely going to tamp it down. It's going to de-escalate. But how do you have those conversations with family members or with friends? Because we all do. You and I have political conversations constantly, via text mostly, because it's safer for you.
We got to remember that a difference of opinion is all right. Extremism is not. So,
when you say extremism, you mean like
violence.
Right. Okay, that's what I like.
Violence and taking away one's rights.
Yeah.
That's where the line is drawn. So, there's a time for violence. Don't get me wrong. But Charlie Kirk was not the right target.
Sure. And we'll stop there. I don't. If you point at me and go, now you, on the other hand, are.
Now, he was using his First Amendment right.
And
simple.
Right.
You disagree with him, you protest him.
Right. Exactly.
Now, some of the things he was against, if he was like round these people up and get rid of these people, then that's the time. But he was not.
Especially if he's ever in a position of power to actually be able to start to advocate for that. So, and make it actually happen.
What are the comment sections saying?
Mostly people are just saying hi. So.
Oh, hi, Mom.
And once again, your mom is not watching. So, well, she might be. I don't know. Justin.
Yeah.
As a political figure yourself, you're apolitically political. You're apolitically political. You are often in a position where you are under, as a mayor, you are under scrutiny, and people are paying attention to you. You just recently had an experience with someone who was very upset with you over something that really wasn't political at all, but had some very harsh things to say about you based on your political office that you hold, that you serve in. How do you bridge that gap with people? Because you obviously had voters who probably are coming from multiple axis of political philosophy who voted for you. In a town like Spring Valley, it's almost a given. How do you bridge that gap with somebody who's maybe hardcore on the left and has a lot of terrible, horrible, mean things to say, or maybe somebody on the right has a lot of terrible, horrible, mean things to say, and they want you to go along with that? How do you bridge that gap in your position without telling people, look, you have no right to speak?
Yeah. This may not be the answer you're looking for, but I don't
call the cops. No.
I personally do not want to be limited by one thing. Okay, what I believe politically is not who I am necessarily. So by you limiting me by that, it seems inappropriate. I'm so much more than that, and so whatever.
Did you guys get to eat? They refuse to talk when they walk by.
Does that make sense?
Well, it
with race or religion or any of that. I don't want to boil who I am down to one specific thing.
Sure.
How do you get people to play nice?
I don't necessarily.
Pass more laws.
I don't think they necessarily need to.
Lefty.
I think it's, and I'm guilty of this, so, I'm far from perfect. But taking the time to hear people out, listen to them, understand different points of view is hugely important. Because I may, even after you explain your side to me, I may not agree with you, but at least we've had that discussion. And it can be done in a calm manner.
Well, that's they always talk about, like, don't ever have these conversations at family dinners, right?
We need to have these conversations.
There you go. That's
So, I worked in the jail for a little bit, and one thing that I learned about beliefs is that they don't matter in certain circumstances. Because you watch a straight up white supremacist with a swastika on the back of his head playing cribbage with a black guy, like, their beliefs don't matter. Whenever you boil it all down, we're human. And if you put in the right situations, you're going to go along with them.
Do you think the tendency, either one of you can answer this, get a little bit closer together, 'cause that way I'm not going like, my audience is getting seasick.
That's a little.
Well, I'm trying to get it, because you talk so quiet,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm generally soft-spoken.
The way that we use ideological labels today, not in labeling ourselves. No, I'm going to talk to you next. Oh no, you're great for this. You'll be perfect for this one. The way we use ideological labels today, not just in labeling. I label myself, paleo-libertarian, libertarian, center-right libertarian, however you want to say it. You are a leftist. Justin, you're pretty moderate. You don't have a political affiliation, but we use labels to describe ourselves, but we have a tendency in our society today to take our ideological opponents,
Demonize them?
and demonize them, but we do that demonization by labeling them with the harshest label we can come up with. So,
Democrat?
yeah. But
Couple of Nazi?
yeah, right. But we have a really good example of, people on the left, and I'm just using this one right now because it's very common. Trump is literally a Nazi. Trump is literally Hitler. And when you take a label like that, or a name like that, everybody's view of Hitler, not everybody, God forbid, because there are people out there who don't have this view. Everybody recognizes the monstrosity of Adolf Hitler. And so when you label a political opponent with a name like that, do you think that's dehumanizing them and separating them from their humanity?
Yeah.
Do you think it makes it easier for people to want to do violence to somebody once they've been dehumanized for years?
Yeah, and I think that the more that people hear that, the more likely they are to go after somebody. I mean, you mentioned Charlie Kirk, so we'll go back to him. There's plenty of people who I believe hated him. So if there's enough hate spread, something eventually is going to happen.
So here's a question that I'll ask, and Justin's got a town hall meeting, which, by the way, we're tossing to the town hall meeting immediately after this at 7 o'clock. So if you watch all the way through, when this ends, the next screen pops up, and that's for the town hall. So make sure you tune in. When we watched the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination last week, very publicly, by the way, if you haven't watched it, please don't. It's terrible. But when we watched the aftermath of his assassination from last week, we saw a couple of very vitriolic reactions. We had, sadly, people come out and celebrate it, and then we had another side that the more the Trump side, and people who would say that they align with Charlie Kirk ideologically, coming out and saying we have to do something to stop these people from saying things like this. They weren't even focused. There was focus on who the shooter was, clearly, but they weren't even focused on that anymore. That what they were now focused on, which I think was
what he might have agreed with.
What might have actually been part of the plan in killing Charlie Kirk, was causing deeper divide between Americans. Immediately, the extremes on both sides. You had one side celebrating it, talking about how wonderful it was and how he deserved it, and the other side talking about we need to do our own acts of violence to get back. And in case in point, a week ago tonight, somebody said something, F Charlie Kirk at a memorial service, at a vigil in Idaho, and the crowd immediately beat the living tar out of the guy. And then the victim of the beating, was charged with a crime. And as of just a day ago, the Attorney General of the United States is talking about charging people with hate crimes for saying things like that. And one segment of the population is cheering that on, saying, yeah, we have to put an end to that. And another segment is over there going, well, that's because you're literally Nazis. And I'm over here saying, that's not the proper response to somebody else's bad reaction. Do you think there's a place for the government to get involved in military and in responses to people having a really bad response to something as tragic as that is? Is there a place for government to get involved with that? No, neither one of them wants to.
I'm waiting to see if he wants to talk first, or maybe at all.
Well, you kind of when I brought that up, what Pam Bondi
well,
said.
Charlie Kirk was very much about the First and Second Amendment, but I can't imagine that he would be okay with that. I mean, yeah, what happened was brutal, but how can you live your life defending the First Amendment and then turn around and say, I want all these people criminalized because they said something like they hate me or I'm a Nazi or whatever the case may be. That seems a little backwards, a little hypocritical. I mean, it's not nice. The things people are saying, it's not nice, but is it a criminal act?
So today's Constitution Day, and people need to reread the First Amendment. There's a right to freedom of press, a right to freedom of speech. Where I get left on this, and I guess it's right now because they're calling for censorship. You want me to get that out of there? Todd is getting attacked by a bee right now.
That would be a hornet.
A hornet. He looks petrified.
Well, I don't like them, no.
Okay. So, Constitution Day, First Amendment, freedom of speech. That's like the most important thing. That's why it's number one. Whenever there's calls for violence, that's where the government should be looking into things with their, wiretaps and phone,
But you made a very clear distinction. Actual calls for violence.
Actual calls for violence.
Right.
Which I've seen some from both left and right.
Right. Absolutely.
So, like I said, extremism. So in Iraq, for example, you had Sunnis fighting Shias, and then Iran coming in. I'm not going to go off on that. But Sunnis fighting Shias. But you know what? You also see Sunnis and Shias breaking bread at the same table. It's about extremism. It's not about if you're left or right. It's about if you're calling for violence.
Right.
That's where that line is. And I mean, you can be the most left person in the world, the most right person in the world. I'll get along with you. Like I was talking with my buddy who's very right-wing, MAGA. If you have morals. If you have morals, I'll get along with you. If you don't, we're not going to get along together.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Justin, what time is the town hall tonight?
7 p.m. Spring Valley Community Center.
And you would love to have people show up.
I would love to. Yeah, come and speak your mind and tell me what you want to the city council to know.
Tell him how to run his city. It's not his city. Justin, real quick for the people that are watching, who are you and what do you do? Not Justin. Greg. Sorry.
Oh, Greg Millard, and I own Matt's Body Shop. I sell old cars. 1956 Oldsmobile. 4-door. You can fit as many people as you want in there. There's a trunk. It's a very large trunk.
That sounds like a political... No, I'm...
Mafia.
Mafia trunk.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you are open Monday through Friday?
Yep.
And he does great work. So he's worked on my car and he's very, very helpful and very good at what he does. And he has yes, he does. He has morals. So, and he is a leftist, and he keeps telling me I'm a leftist, but he'll get to know me. Trust me.
I know leftists.
Oh, I'm not. All right. I'm sure I'll see you at town hall.
Yeah.
I know I'll see you there.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'll be there.
Give me 5 minutes, because I know you will be great at this. So.
I'll be here.
Well, I just don't want to make other people feel awkward. It's like, oh, okay. So, Minnesota's had a rough couple of months.
Okay.
We had a political assassination,
Right.
and then an attempted political assassination at the same day, same time, based on, we don't know the weird ideology of the individual that was there. And then last week, tragically, we saw the political assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
Full disclosure, I've known Stephanie for a long time, so
A long time.
long time, probably longer than she'd like, but but I already know how you're going to respond to this, but I want people to hear this.
You might be surprised.
What is the answer to bridging the gap in political differences so that we don't come to places of violence? I knew. Say it louder.
Just respect. You just gotta listen to each other. Just without being angry. Like, you can't come to it in a view of anger.
Yeah.
You know what? You can't look at someone and go, and just because you're red or right means that you're absolutely the worst person in the world.
Right, and people who are on the right or
Or the left.
I call people dyed in the wool MAGA people.
Right.
I call them kind of the Trump bot types
Right,
that no
yeah.
matter what he says,
Yep.
it's good. You can't look at everybody who's not in your camp, whether they're
Right.
even on the right or more libertarian like me or
Yep.
on the left. You can't look at those people and automatically assume they're the most evil and wicked
Right.
person in the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think that we allow ourselves to get wrapped up in dehumanizing people
Yes.
way too easily,
Absolutely.
even when we're not angry?
Yes, absolutely. I think it took me many years to finally humanize the other side of the political spectrum that I didn't
Interest
see.
of full disclosure, whether you're comfortable or not, would you consider yourself more on the left or more on the right?
I think I'm more on the left, but in the last couple of years, I've seen a couple of things, heard a couple of things that make me really, I'm less left than I was when I was in my teen years or my young adult.
there's the old saying that if you're a youth or a teen and you're not on the left, you probably don't have a heart.
Right.
And then if you're an adult and you're not a little bit more on the right, you probably don't have a brain.
Right.
That's it.
Yep. Yes.
And
I'm learning.
and I'm over here as a libertarian going, I have both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have both.
Yep.
Empathy and intelligence.
Right.
Maybe not everybody else's level of intelligence. There are far smarter people than
Yeah.
me.
But you have respect for people too.
I try.
It's hard some days.
Yeah. Yes.
It's really hard.
What was your gut reaction to Wednesday when you heard?
Sorrow. My first, as someone who never watched him, didn't listen to him, just like heartbroken. And I don't know much.
Where'd that heartbreak come from? Was it he's just not just,
Yeah.
but he's a human being, or did it say something to you about the nature and state of our country?
Yeah. That it's getting, violence is getting way worse, and that people are taking, I almost want to say almost too seriously. Like, things are supposed to be serious in this, right? The government's supposed to be a serious situation, and yeah, it was hard to think about. Sorry, I'm getting way distracted by a lot of people.
Oh no, I'm the same way. I'm like, not that, and I'm an introvert, so being out here, I'm like, so.
No, it was
You were,
heartbreaking.
yeah, it was heartbreaking, and political philosophy is meant to be taken seriously,
Right.
but
But people aren't listening to one another, and they're not like truly like sitting down and talking to one another, and they're just choosing to go with their opinion and their right and everything that I think is right. And because you're telling me I'm wrong, I'm gonna get angry and start shooting.
do you think people on the left and on the right, do you think that they tend to only allow themselves to exist in echo chambers where they're only talking to people that they
Yes.
agree with?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think that's
Absolutely.
do you think that that's why we're incapable of talking to people
Yes.
outside of our philosophical camps?
Yes, I think it makes people extremely uncomfortable to talk about things that people don't want to learn. They don't want to listen, they don't want to learn. And life is all about learning. You learn every single day from every single mistake. And I think when it comes to politics, you know what you know, and I'm comfortable in it, and I don't want to change because changing is scary.
And then that's where some of the cognitive dissonance comes in, where somebody brings up a really good point.
Right. Right.
And they're not even bashing you, they just bring up a
Right.
really good point, and you just immediately have to shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when I'll give a really good example that I had a conversation with somebody today. They're, admittedly, Charlie Kirk had some people that hated him because they didn't like his views. And
Right.
that's, we're all going to have people like that in our lives,
Right.
whether they're close to us or not. But the responses to his death from a certain segment of people on the left, not all, but a certain segment, has been atrocious. They said terrible, terrible things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people on the right, especially, big supporters, immediately were calling for these people to be like hunted down at their jobs and fired.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people got fired for it.
Got fired for it. And they applauded when they found out that these people got fired. And I pointed out that just a few short years ago, people like me were targeted
Right.
in our jobs for not having the right political view during the virus and the pandemic.
Yep.
And people who were on the right were going, oh, that's unfair. They shouldn't be doing that
Yeah.
to you, no matter.
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of that cognitive dissonance and the disconnect? Or do you think that's just kind of the logical conclusion of where we are in our society today when it comes to our socio-political culture, where once my guy's in power, all the things I hated are now okay?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think that they have power and they are definitely thinking, well, it's my way or the highway kind of thing,
Right. Your brother had mentioned that he has, some friends that are MAGA. Well, people really don't know who it is. But your brother mentioned that he has friends that are MAGA, and yet they're still friends, and he's not MAGA. Do you have anybody in your life that's like that? Maybe further to the left than you, or further to the right?
No, same friends. My boyfriend is probably more further to the right than I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. And I just sit and listen, and it takes a lot for me nowadays to bring up my opinion from the left side, because I feel like I need backing proof. Like I need black and white right in front of me proof to say, I think that you should look at it from this side instead of looking at it without any empathy or logic.
Can I pull on that for a second?
Yeah.
I like what you're saying when you, because I think there's some self-realization there, and I don't even know if you're realizing it. And maybe but I think there's some self-realization there when you say that I don't want to bring up some of my views from the left because I want to make sure that I can defend them.
Right.
Do you think, not in a mean-spirited way, but do you think that is a little bit of your own weakness or is it just you're afraid to bring them up?
No, absolutely. It's my own weakness.
So it is self-actualized realization.
I am the type of person that's like, will immediately back down from a fight nowadays. When I was a teenager, I was not afraid to fight anyone. But nowadays, I back down from a fight as soon as someone tells me.
When you say fight, you're referring to philosophical conflict.
Debate,
yeah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Not a fisticuffs, but.
So do you think your boyfriend, how long you guys been together?
A year and a half.
You think that your exposure to him, I know my audience, it's not what it means. Do you think your exposure to him and some of his views has caused you to take a step back and say, maybe I don't know my own positions as well as I thought I did?
I think it started before him.
Cool.
I think it, but
I was trying, bro. I was trying.
It has, but I think I'm also rubbing. Okay, well,
There again, it's my audience. We're okay.
I think from my viewpoints, because I think if you're politically left, you're more empathetic to the world, in my point of view, and I think he's taking that too, and
I think
it's kind of all meshing.
I think that's a good generalization. Yeah. I do think it's a bit of a mischaracterization because I think there are people on the right that are have far more empathy and are far more empathetic or empathic, how you want to say it, than the left realizes,
Right.
because we tend to think, and if you think I'm wrong, that's fine. We tend to think that, oh, I'm on this side of the spectrum, therefore, like, I'm actually the person that has the most feeling because I'm actually doing these things because I care, and that's left and right.
Yeah.
So, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know you, and they have that family member or a friend or a coworker who's hardcore one way or the other, and they know that time's coming when those conversations, because we're coming up onto the holiday season,
we
folks.
are.
And no matter how much, and your brother said something that I thought was profound, and I wasn't expecting him to say, and I agree with, is that contrary to the popular held common wisdom that we shouldn't talk about these things during family get-togethers, I think that's the best place because it should be the safest.
Yeah.
How do you tell that person who has that family member that's one way on one side or the other of the spectrum, that's just adamant and they want to fight about it all the time, and no matter how many times you ask them not to bring it up, they're going to bring it up? How do you bridge that gap with that person? If it's you today, Stephanie today, not Stephanie Teen.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't make any jokes about Stephanie Teen being a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. That's how long he's known me for. Oh gosh, just you gotta come to it with an open mind, but with strength too, and not anger.
You keep coming back to that. It's not to anger. So
Because that's where I see a lot of politics. I see a lot of anger in politics, from what I see. But it's way different from what you see or what my brother sees. You guys are way deep into politics, like you actually understand it and
I'm
learn
literally
it.
out here having these conversations
Exactly.
right now. So
And what I get from politics is what I see on social media nowadays.
yeah,
I'm not quite as into it anymore, because for me, it was a place of anxiety and anger, and a lot of fear. And now I've stepped back from it. But with the family member, you just have to listen, and you have to just listen.
and practice reflective listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are like, what's reflective listening?
Exactly.
Well, no, I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah,
And so you
no
thought I was
problem.
going to make it really hard, didn't you?
You
thought I
did
was
make
gonna-
it really hard.
Was it really hard? It
Oh
was so
my
difficult.
gosh.
You seemed so not ready for it.
Yeah, I was not. I was not. But I had a feeling, which I knew you were gonna.
No,
talk
you
about.
did. No, you did great. I really appreciate it. So thank you. I'll see you later. Oh, those were excellent conversations. So, well, yeah, and I'm asking people questions, but it's really important in light of what happened this last week. And so I don't want to take up your space, but I was hoping that you would be here because I wanted to see if you'd be willing to talk about it from a neutral position of how do we stop reflecting on our political differences to overcome the political violence. And I've talked to you so many times on the trail and other places.
Yeah.
I'm like, this person I know thinks deeply.
Yeah.
So would you be willing to step out from under the tent for a minute and talk? Or
I don't know how I would answer that.
that's perfect though. I don't want somebody that had a pre-canned answer.
There you go.
I wanted an actual,
I'll give it
yeah.
straight up.
No.
Right from the heart.
You'll have to repeat the question again.
Well, yeah, let's do that out here so that I'm not keeping people from coming up here. And
Okay.
so everybody's been watching knows that my topic tonight is to ask people about how we bridge the gap between political divides so that we no longer have this growing amount of political violence, because Minnesota's had a ton of political violence this year. When we had assassination of Melissa Hortman and her husband, and the attempted assassination of two of her colleague and his wife, and now we had Charlie Kirk assassinated last week. And there have been diverse reactions to that, and with both sides coming out. One side, a second, and one side screaming and hollering about how wonderful it was, which just blows my mind. And another side that's now saying we have to fight fire with fire, and maybe we should start doing violence too. And I'm over here going, hey, settle down, people. Like, there's got to be a better way. And how do you live and work in an environment where you just or family functions or out in public, you're going to run into people who are going to want to share their political opinions. Sometimes people that you agree with on a lot of things.
I mean, honestly, I am very neutral. I am very neutral. I'm not one side versus the other side.
Perfect.
I kind of share in a little bit of each side, to be honest.
Yep. You mean you're balanced.
Yeah. So, but it is very, very hard to hear how people are like reacting, like you said, like negatively and then positively when it's just
Right.
it's just a downright. I mean, you're human. If you're human, there should be no happiness in somebody losing their life. Like I don't understand that from my perspective. I don't know. But like I feel my mom is very Republican, and it's really hard for me to like try to veer her away from like I'll just have a normal conversation with her, everyday conversation, and she always brings it back to some sort of politics. So like I know exactly what you're saying. There's so many people that are just deeply on one side versus the other side, and either way it's I don't feel like it's a good situation, and I try to just remain positive. Like let's try to be positive and like not
You're struggling with that a little
not
bit
spread
because
hate, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's really sad that like
do you think
people have to like be doing these like violence and crimes, and then it goes into like one thing with like sexual tendency, or you know, like the Catholic school situation, and then like in Minnesota we're very like I don't know, we're a different state, shall I say.
we're different, all right.
And I mean, honestly, I'm very my mom calls me oblivious because I choose to not be in each one or the other. So
Well, I don't know if that's oblivious.
I don't like to like.
You might be
I
living
don't-
in the best of both
I don't like
worlds
to
right
I don't
now,
like
the way
to
things are.
read or like go into it. Like I don't want to like grow something, an opinion. I just rather remain neutral.
You said something that everybody that I've talked to so far tonight, just tonight, has said we have to remember that people are human.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give like the worst case example of like, let's say you got a friend that's just like, and I'm not saying you have a friend that's like this, but let's say you have a friend and like you guys are sitting down for a glass of, well, I don't, you run marathons, so you probably aren't drinking wine much.
Every marathoner drinks wine or beer.
So, long story, folks. She and I spent 2 summers running into each other on the bike trail, and I just moved my workouts inside because I was tired of the mosquitoes. And I'm out there for hours. But so let's say you've got this friend that's really hardcore to the left, and you guys are sitting together for a glass of wine, getting ready to talk about your next marathon together, and your friend looks at you and says, "Man, I'm so glad Charlie Kirk died. What do you think?" Like that, like your response to that with that friend could mean depending on how you respond, could literally mean the end of a friendship, depending on how you respond. How would you respond to a person? And you probably don't know anybody that's like that.
No,
but
and honestly, that's what I don't understand. Is I don't understand how if you have a friendship or a family member, if everybody has their own beliefs, I don't understand why all of a sudden people can't have their own opinion. People, like, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. If my friend were to say that, I would say, I do not agree with that. That is not okay by my book.
Yeah, but he was so evil and mean.
And I would say, you know what? The media lets you see what they want you to see. And, like, you don't know firsthand how he actually was or what was going on in his life. Just like many of these politicians, they always, the media views them how they want people to see them, as well as he's still a person. He's still a person. You know, like nobody should lose a life. Nobody should lose a life. And if I lost a friend over that, then really they're not my friend, because everybody should have.
Oh, I'm not ready for
opinion.
this, she says.
Everybody has their right to opinion. Even I respect people's wrong opinions.
Love that.
But what I'm saying is that
Definitionally, opinions can be neither right nor wrong.
But everybody has their own opinion, and I don't understand why people have to mess with other people's opinions. If you don't agree with it, don't agree with it. Let it be.
Right.
Let it be.
Right. That's
Another
awesome.
controversy that and this is something completely off of the topic, so I don't know.
No, it's fine. That's what.
But another thing that kind of was rubbing me the wrong way was the whole machine outside of the Austin government center for the con.
Oh, the Narcan vending machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people were
For
going
free?
off about that, and
Yeah.
I was like, let it be. Like, let it be. If you don't agree with it, don't.
You completely want people to stop dying of opioid overdoses, but then you don't want them to have an opportunity to not die of an
And
opioid
then,
overdose.
so
Yeah.
I was chatting with somebody, one of my family members. I won't put them out
Not
there.
gonna put them on blast,
And
yeah.
they were like, well, if they're stupid enough to do that, then why not let them die? And I was like, what
So
happens-
much dehumanizing.
And what happens if it was like my kid and he like tried something for his first time? It wasn't like he's constantly doing it. We don't know everybody's story. We do not know everybody's story.
Exactly.
So it's like come in and being a mom and having maybe it on hand because maybe I grabbed some from a vending machine. I don't know the situation, and then you come in.
Maybe
and
you're
correct
planning
your
on
kid.
a rough party after your next
You know
marathon.
what I mean?
You know?
But like it's people's lives.
Right.
It's people's lives. We need to be more caring and less like.
More about
You
humanizing
don't
people.
agree
Yeah.
with my opinion, we're not going to be friends. You don't agree with my opinion, I'm going to ruin something. I'm going to kill somebody.
I was just talking to somebody else about this, that we tend to say we don't, but we all live in these echo chambers where we only surround ourselves with people that agree with us, and we'll never have a conversation like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate it. Tell everybody what your next big race is. Don't tell them when or where, but just tell them what
My next big race is I'm doing a half marathon in a month.
in a month.
Yep, a 5K on a Friday night and a half marathon on a Saturday morning.
And just so everybody could, tell, she's a little shorter than I am, which means she has to take about 50 more steps per yard. Yeah. So I think last time I was going to give you a card, and I don't remember if I had one on me.
Perfect.
So
Thank you.
you can, since he had to listen to all that. So everybody's like, I don't like. You're so. You're,
I got you. Yeah.
he says, oh yeah, okay, I got you.
I saw
Yeah, he
these
did.
cards last
Well, Lori grabbed one.
Yeah, Lori
We
got
only had one.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So.
Well, thanks, Todd.
But no, thank you. It was good to see you again. So you're gonna have to come back and just hit a like and put a share out. So on this one, even if you don't watch anything else I do. So we'll see ya. No, these conversations are really important, and I wish more of us could learn to have them. The town hall meeting starts in 24 minutes, but I'm going to see if we can get wrapped up. So I got about 20 minutes to do that, or do another conversation here before I go down for the town hall itself. So I know that nobody believes this, but I'm actually an introvert, so these kind of things are very difficult. So I want to show everybody a sign here, and to show everybody how even a small town reacts. So I'm showing your handwritten sign on your door. I expected that sentiment from that young lady who put that sign up, because I know that she has a heart. So
Some days.
well, do you want to tell the world how you felt when it happened? No? All right. No, you don't have to apologize. I'm not a singing act that wants to come in and put you on the spot. So yeah, it's been a really good. Let's see the people that have been willing to engage. So. See if there's anybody else up here. See how this is going.
How are you? Hello, hello. Hi, Dana. Hi. How are you? Good. We've been here since 4:30.
Let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to stop at the Republican booth and ask them. So, I love that. Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Todd?
Not too bad. I didn't even. You lost weight. You weren't big before, but you look like you've lost weight in the face. I wanted to ask you a question. I saw you here, and I was to see if there's anybody else around.
Okay.
But I'm going heading down to the town hall, and I need to be down there a few minutes
Is that
ahead of
tonight?
time.
I thought it was last night.
No, it's on. We're doing them on Wednesdays mostly.
Oh, okay.
So, Minnesota's had a rough year. A rough summer, especially because we had the assassination of Melissa Hortman and her husband, and then the attempted assassination on her colleagues. And there were Republicans that were targeted, apparently, on that list, as well as Democrats. And then we had last week's event with Charlie Kirk, who was kind of a mainstay and kind of the backbone for the youth movement of the Republican Party in the United States, and he has a pretty big following in Minnesota as well. How'd that news hit you when that happened?
Well, I always thought of Charlie. The only time I ever saw Charlie was as a political leader, but I didn't realize what an evangelist he was. That's huge because Mrs. Kirk said it very well, actually quoting Charlie, and that is that there's no child that's too young to hear the gospel, and that's, I think, that's the message that just really hit home to me, that if this country is going to be saved, it's going to be saved by people reaching out and evangelizing and sharing the gospel with youth. And I don't mean, kids in their older teens or in their 20s. I'm talking about young kids, grade schoolers. There's no child that's too young to hear the gospel, and if this country is going to be saved, that's what's going to save it right there. It's preaching the gospel to young kids, and getting them saved.
Do you think that there is hope for closing the gap between the two wings of the political spectrum, the left and the right? Do you think there are enough moderate Democrats and moderate people, or moderates on the left of the center line, that an event like last week is going to be enough to wake them up and have them step back and say, wait, these people aren't, that this does not represent my values?
This isn't a right and left issue, as I see it. It's not a Republican versus a Democrat issue. This is a good versus evil issue. It's a war of good versus evil, and
I've heard that a lot this last week.
The only thing that's going to fix the overcoming of evil is sharing the gospel and preaching the gospel. And you see a lot of it on television or online. You hear different things, and I think some of those things are AI. I think some of those things are fake. And the thing that we have to, the thing that's going to point to, that's going to reveal whether or not it's really true, is something that I was told a while ago about there's a difference between a recession and a depression. A recession is when your neighbor is unemployed, and a depression is when you're unemployed. And I see this revival, the signs of a revival being the same. These things you see on the internet about large groups of people that are coming to the Lord, that's all fine and dandy. But I don't see a revival, and my definition of a revival is when I see my family coming to the Lord. That's when I know that there's a revival.
That definitely hits home, doesn't it? Any plans for the future? You running for office again?
Yeah, I'll be running for county commissioner again next time around.
Is that going to be here in 2026, or
No,
is that seat won't
it'll
open until
be-
2028?
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. It's always good to see you.
Yep.
So,
See ya.
hope you don't get rained on again. I tell everybody that I now live in Amish country, and they're like, "You don't know what Amish are."
They don't believe it.
They don't believe me, you know. And then they said, "No, I don't speak enough of that." I used to. I spoke German fluently. So
Okay.
when I moved to Germany, but I just wanted to say hi because nobody believes me when I tell them that there are Amish in my area, and they're like, "No, you mean Mennonite," and I'm like, "I know the difference." So, and then they said, "Well, don't put them on camera," and I'm like, "They're not as backwards as you try to make them out to be." So, hi, you have a beautiful smile. So, well, I'll stop harassing you guys. You have a good night.
At least I will die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, anyway you feel. Yeah, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Yeah, mama, rock me. Thank you.
Who are you, and where can people find you?
My name's Daryl Felton. You can find me on Facebook as Bourbon Stiletto.
I will remember the bourbon part.
Yeah.
I do not look good in stilettos.
You know, I don't either. My partner does. She's not here tonight.
So bourbon stiletto, right?
Yes.
Do you have? Do you do any original stuff?
We don't. We do covers, but we're very request driven. So we like to cater to the audience. So.
And where are you out of?
I'm from Ostrander here, and then Alyssa, the person I usually play with, she's from Austin. So
And
pretty local.
do you guys have any of your covers out anywhere besides Facebook, or?
We do not. No. So we primarily run off of Facebook.
Yeah, you need to change that.
Yeah, yeah, probably would be a good idea.
Are you working on writing any of your own stuff?
I do have some stuff. It's just not.
Ready.
It's not ready.
It's not ready.
It's probably never ready in my own eyes, but you know.
One more time, what do you guys go by, and where can everybody find you?
Bourbon Stiletto on Facebook.
My audience will love the bourbon aspect of that. So, well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You only have 200 and some people watching right now.
That's great. I love it. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Well, let's see. We had some really good conversations tonight. 6:47, so I got to get down and get ready to get started with the town hall itself. And it's been fun. It's been fun having these conversations. And remember, when I'm done with this, we are going to toss over directly to, hand this off directly to the town hall. So please stay tuned because it's going to be an interesting conversation. If you guys remember last month when I was down here, we talked about this new garden area, and they have started the excavation. So this land was basically donated by the Legion, the American Legion, and the VFW, and there's going to be pathways in here, paved pathways, and then we're going to be putting paver stones. People can come down here and buy paver stones and put a message on. And it'll be right here underneath the flag, which is not flying as majestically today. I do notice that it's not at half staff. I don't know what to make of that. So, but yeah, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get ready to go in for the town hall and see how that goes tonight. But tonight is an open forum. Mayor doesn't have a particular topic that he wants to hear about. He's going to let people bring their own subjects that they want to discuss. The last few town halls have been very well attended, lots of people, and the feedback on the town halls has been great. And I'm hoping that we'll get more of the same. And you guys have heard from the mayor. If you've tuned in to me for a while, you've heard from the mayor for mayoral meanderings, which are follow-ups to the town halls. And of course, I also cover my city council stuff here. And so town hall immediately following this. And then tomorrow night at 6 p.m., a little earlier actually, I'm going to be covering the vigil for Charlie Kirk in Rochester. We're going to be live streaming that and hopefully having some of the same conversations. I know that there will be people there who are going to protest it, and there are going to be people there to observe the vigil. And I'm going to try and capture people from both sides to have this conversation, just like I was having tonight. So once again, we're going to go in here to the community center, and we're going to set up for the town hall. So I'll be ending this and going straight to the town hall. So guys, in just a second, make sure you tune in. And